Hey, howdy do out there, everyone. My name is Michael, and welcome to yet another installment of the sketch series here in the Duke Corner, where I just, doodle some random things for practice and fun. Today is the day I tried out a landscape piece, which is, honestly, likely my weakest point, considering there's just so much to consider in a landscape, and I find it quite overwhelming. More so than my characters, actually. But I do love landscapes, and I've always admired them, and I really wanted to draw one. Plus, I need them for the backgrounds of my characters, of course. Otherwise, I'm not a very well-rounded artist, am I? So, I took a go at it. The way I went about this is probably very wrong. In fact, I would reckon to say it is very wrong. I looked up a bunch of tutorials, and then after watching a bunch of tutorials from people that were way out of my league and I couldn't really understand what they meant, I found some good references, which I then promptly ignored, and went instead of practicing and studying anything to just going right into the piece. In my defense, I wasn't in a very good studying mood, and honestly, I couldn't think of a good way to study for a landscape, considering just how many types of land there are, and not even considering mystical types of land, like floating islands or chunks of buildings that just exist for some reason, ruined structures and the like. It's, like I said, rather overwhelming. You can see my first thought here was a scene from a game I ran recently, which is a Stonehenge-type structure with a portal gate inside made of floating stones. Remember how I said floating stones would be difficult? Well, I did everything I could to make this one work out, but as you can see, I struggled a lot. At one point, I found a 360 video of Stonehenge to even get a better layout, and when that didn't work, I even literally put my gaming skills to the test, and I went into Minecraft of all places to build the Stonehenge I wanted so I could get a screenshot for the reference. Finally, when that even failed, and I just couldn't figure out what I was doing wrong, I decided that I was focused way too hard on this one idea, and thought it was best if I just threw it in the trash, deleted my art, and moved on to some different scenes in my game, which you'll see me flip through as I draw and delete, and mostly delete, really, until I finally settled on my final piece here. So as I said, I finally settled on this piece here. This is the pine and forest, made of pine trees, mostly named the Pine in my world, looking over this glowing necropolis over that probably evil mountain over there in the distance. I included a lot of little secret elements and tidbits of my game, though it doesn't seem like it, which I can't necessarily go into too much detail with right now, or I'd give away plots to my players. But I did decide to add in one of the NPCs down there that they do know, and I just couldn't resist drawing her. This is the Silver Wolf and her little wolf pup, just chilling in the snow. I can't say I didn't enjoy drawing this one, and I learned plenty about the colors and shading, how to go about the layers and designing the forms of things, especially the difference between those far away and close up, like the trees. My favorite part was probably the sky. I love Big Moon and the glow I put around it with the crazy eye swirls around it. And I found the perfect texture brush for painting in thousands of stars on the arm of the galaxy running over the sky, which I probably would have just not drawn if I didn't find that brush, as I'm sure you can probably understand due to the complexity of that. Despite that, I also can't really say I like this one all that much, at least not comparatively to some other pieces I've made in the past. I especially think the scale and focal points are all wonky on this. It's almost as if the trees and the mountain coming down to the horizon, they sort of draw your eye off to the corner there, but you would think the focal point should be the necropolis on the mountain with the moon behind it, and it sort of is, considering the moon is so big, and they're almost fighting for attention in the piece, I think. And then, of course, there's Silverwolf down there in the field, really not even part of the composition, just in the shadows down there. But I've already had a lot more ideas for some landscapes I can draw, so perhaps I'll get some practice and revisit this in a new episode later down the line. I mean, all in all, it's not that bad. Not the best work, certainly, but definitely a learning experience, and I still like the piece regardless. Tell me what you think about it, and if you'd like to see more finessed and practiced landscapes in the future. I bet if I could actually pull it off, a world tour of my game world in just drawings of landscapes and such would actually be pretty amazing, at least for me. But let me know your thoughts. And if you did enjoy, which I certainly hope you did, don't forget all that like and subscribe stuff to help me get out there on the algorithms. And until next time, farewell.